It's a cliche, but our next inductee truly needs no introduction. His accomplishments as a college football coach are among the greatest of all time. Think about it. The powers of college football, they may go up and down a little bit, but they remain the same. Notre Dame, Alabama, Texas, Ohio State, USC. There are very few instances of coaches challenging the hierarchy that is college football. But this man led not one, but two universities out of the dark ages to unparalleled and amazing success. What has Washington State done before him and after him, for that matter? He led the school located in out-of-the-way Pullman, Washington, to 2 Rose Bowl games in his 14 years there. He was the National Coach of the Year. The Pac-12 is so strong, I don't know if Washington State will ever get back to the Rose Bowl. He took them there twice. After a pit stop cut short at Alabama, Mike Price was without a coaching home. It was only fitting that a colorblind school with an athletic director with the vision of Bob Stoll, and at one time coached by a basketball team coached by Don Haskins, that gave an all-black starting lineup a chance to beat Kentucky, that school would give him another coaching chance when others would not. Mike Price came to UTEP and immediately led the Miners to an 8-4 record, a top 25 appearance, and a bowl berth. Over the course of his 9 years here, there would be more bowl games, more victories, the biggest crowds UTEP has ever seen. UTEP football was reborn under this man. He grabbed that pickaxe and lead his Miners down to the Sun Bowl Stadium turf, and in doing so brought victories and joy to El Paso. Last year he was named to the 2014 Legend of the Sun Bowl and nominated by Charles Hill. Tonight we honor and we welcome Coach Mike Price into the El Paso Athletic Hall of Fame.
Thank you very much. I'd like to thank the people that nominated me. Bernard Polk, Oscar Leeser, Beto O'Rourke, Charles Hill, and Representative Joe Pickett, and of course our athletic director Bob Stoll. I'm going to be honored to hang in that hallway in the basketball arena next to John Fulmer and Tim Floyd, who has been out recruiting and flew in here for a night's banquet. He probably hadn't even been home yet. Thanks, Tim, for being here. Yeah, I'm just honored to be with you guys, and I'm honored to be with this group of people up here too. Wow, what a great group of student athletes, huh? Wow, you know, I remember so many great track and field athletes. I fell in love with a track star in Everett, Washington. She was the 60-yard dash champion in 4th grade at Everett High School. And she had this blonde ponytail. And man, she was just as big as she is now, huge. And she just sprint out there with it, and that ponytail would be sticking out. And I just going, I'm in love with that girl. And 49 years later, she's still with me. And I'd like to just tell you a little story about some brothers in Seattle, Washington that grew up in the same home, and one was a bank president and lived in Mercer Island, which, as you know, is a beautiful area there. It's right in the middle of Seattle, and beautiful homes. He's bank president. He had 3 children and happily married for 25 years, and his kids are in college. One went to Yale. His daughter graduated from MIT. Another from the University of Washington, and it was just a complete success. And his brother, who was just a couple of years younger than him, was just the opposite. His brother was down in a little area downtown Seattle called Pioneer Square, where all the bums hang out and all the alcoholics and drug users hang out. And that's where this guy hung out. And he was divorced. He ran out on his 4 children. His children didn't wind up to do anything else. The poor wife got married 3 or 4 times after that. And he was a bum living in Pioneer Square. Yet they were still raised together in the same family. And when you go to them and ask them, why in the world did you turn out the way you did, they give you the same answer. The same answer. You go to the bank president and say, or you go to the guy that lives on Pioneer Square and you say, why did you turn out the way you did? He said, well, you see, I was raised in a family where my father was an alcoholic, and he came home every night and beat us, beat the kids, and ran out on my mom and left us broke, and I just kind of followed in my dad's footsteps and kind of ended up just the same way he is. I'm just like my dad. What do you expect? And then you ask the bank president, lives in Mercer Island, completely successful, why did you turn out the way you did? And he says the same thing his brother says. He says, well, you see, I was raised in a family with a father that was an alcoholic. And he'd come home at night and beat us kids. And he left my mom all alone. And my mom hardly could make it. And I promised myself I would never turn out that way, that I would be completely different than my father. So sometimes it's not what happens to you in life, but how you react to it, right? Most of the time it's that. And 10 years ago we came to El Paso, Joyce and I, and I just had been fired at Alabama. I was low self-esteem as a professional. Our personal life was challenged. It was a low point in my life. And coming here was something very, very special to us. The chance that Bob Stoll gave me was a chance of a lifetime. I met this group of people right here the very first day, 10 years ago. And they're my friends to this day. And they reached out and said, welcome, Mike. It's great to have you here. El Paso reached out to us and said, welcome, Mike. It's great to be here. And as you look out at these student athletes that we saw tonight, and then you go and watch CNN tonight or the last couple nights, and you see what's happening in Baltimore. It's wonderful to be where we are, isn't it? And to have faith in our younger generation to be successful the way these kids are. Man, the younger generation's going great. The football in El Paso has gotten so much better since just in the last 10 years to see all these scholarships. I think the first year we were here, maybe there was one guy that got a college scholarship the first year I was here of the 16 high schools that we had here in that time. So times are changed. They're going in the right direction. When we came here, we had to change the attitude of the team. The team had a losing attitude. But I didn't do anything to help them get stronger. I wasn't fast enough to do that. We didn't have enough time to do that. I didn't call any certain plays that worked all the time. But what we did is we changed the attitude of the players in the team. And I told them, down inside he is a winner. Down inside he is a champion. Down inside of this school is a championship. It was a champion when Bob coached there. It was a champion when Young coached here. We had we've had championship teams here in football. And we knew that we could have another one. And so we just worked hard in changing the attitude. And you joined us by helping us pack the stadium and having a positive attitude about our student athletes. I'd like to thank all the support people. They're the same ones, Bob, that when you hired me, our strength coach is the same guy, our secretaries and administrative assistants, football ops people, academic people are the same people. We're solid. The program is solid. We have a new coach. He came in running full blast because of the help and all the people that were already established in our program. We have good citizens in our football program here, and we did when I was there. And we'll continue to have that. And the best thing I think about it is that I want to thank you. I want to thank the players. I want to thank the support staff that we've had in the past and that we have up there now. If it wasn't for them and the players and my assistant coaches, I wouldn't be up here. We're very, very proud to say that El Paso is our home, and we'll continue to support all the athletics here in this community. Thank you so much.